Welcome to the political segment of the weekend show, where we will be discussing one of the pressing issues facing millions in Nigeria, the soaring cost of living. Joining us, we have Dr. Francis Okoye, who is a political scientist, public affairs analyst, and member APC Presidential Campaign Council 2023. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks
We
for
also
having
have
me.
Mr. John Udauchaye, who is a financial analyst. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, we have Honorable Idris Kalgo, who is a national team lead at Tiku Youth Wing. Good morning, and thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank you. Morning.
So I like the fact that I have three of you here with me, and I understand that every Nigerian experiences Nigeria differently. So I want each of you to please give me an overview, your personal overview of the current economic situation in the country, particularly focusing on the high cost of living right now. Could you start, please?
Good morning. Yeah. Today marks a year and about few days into the administration of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Within the past 1 year, Nigerians have actually faced hardship in terms of economic hardship, high cost of living skyrocketing here and there. But I must submit that all these things are things that we need to experience at this particular point in time, taking into cognizance where we are coming from an era where a lot has been damaged economically, an era where the foundation of the economic growth of Nigeria were shattered by the past administrations. So it is taking the administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu serious efforts to curb the menace of rising cost of living, to tackle economic quagmire ravaging Nigerians. So I accept actually that Nigerians are suffering, Nigerians are passing through a lot. As an APC member, I can't deny that because we all buy in the same market. So we are expressing a lot of hardship. But like I said, all this hardship will fizzle out in few months, because currently the administration of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is taking serious measures, which I will still relate in the course of this program, those efforts he has been taking or has taken and is still taking to ensure that we curb the rising cost of living. I will still discuss that later. So generally, Nigerians are not really finding it easy, taking into cognizance the extant multifaceted economic quagmire we are facing currently as Nigerians.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here. And thank the viewer out there. Basically, from the perspective of financial view, Nigeria currently, I think we are in the surge. And what I mean by we are in the surge is because inflation is on the top rising, where we have food inflations for 40.3%, and at the same time, we have the general inflation hovering within 33.9%, and which is not really healthy. So what that means is that Nigeria is broken. And if a situation where the citizen is broken, meaning their welfare is one of the things that the society needs to look into. And basically, when the President Bola Tinubu came in, there was a twin policy that was undertaken, which caused a lot of hardship for the average Nigerian. One was the removal of fuel subsidy, and second was the flotations of Naira, that is the unifications of the forex exchange. And these are two basic policies that really hamper the situations in Nigeria. As it is right now, when you go to the market, we go to the same market, but the measures which we put in place are not equal. I understand to the fact that Nigerians, there is no equality in terms of the elite and the peasant, but at least the elite should put a structure in place to ensure that subsidies is paid for the average peasant that are not well to do, that are also part of the society because it's the same market, just like I rightly said. So I believe the government that brought Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, it is the same government that he was part when Buhari was in government. So I believe it is very pertinent and important that they should do the needful and be able to apply the policy that is peculiar to Nigeria, not copying economy that is peculiar to other country that is not peculiar to Nigeria. Because there are so many measures that you can put to ensure that, yes, every citizen of Nigeria is living well. And that we need to look into inwardly. And as in the course of this program, we are going to dissect and deliberate on so many issues as we discuss on this particular issue of cost of governance, or cost of living in Nigeria.
Honorable Idris?
Thank you very much. Well, the cost of living is way getting out of hand. And unfortunately, it only affects the poor people. I'm sure the politicians and those in government doesn't even know what is happening because they're living in a very high expensive life with the government funds and everything. And thank God, this is the first time I actually had an APC man saying the truth, that they accept that, yes, there's a cause of hardship in this government. But how do we get here? We have been running on the blame games for so long. You are elected to govern. You are not elected to come and complain. You made mention that there's a problem, there are some things you need to fix, so fix them. Then you go back to the cost of living of a thing. I think a day before Salah, I bought a basket, this dustbin basket of tomato, about almost 26,000 naira. Tell me, how can a poor man survive on just dustbin basket of tomato at 26,000 naira? How will he get to buy rice? How will he get to buy Maggi, oil, and so on and so forth? And at the same time, this same government doesn't even care what is really going on. Why do I say they don't care? They're busy buying themselves new cars, and the president even talking about buying two jets for the presidential jets. Do we really need them now? And so unfortunately, I had someone saying that he needs to get a new planes because we don't want him to die just like the Iranian president or the Malawian vice president. What happened with this very one that they're using? Is it old? What is wrong with it? Is it really necessary now? And then there's a tweet going on circulating about Godswill Akpabio, the Senate president, who says the life of the president is more important than any Nigerian citizen. Then turn it the other way around to the president himself, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Is his life more important than all the Nigerians? Is he supposed to protect us? Is he supposed to govern us well? Is he supposed to make sure that all these things are put in place? Or is it just about himself alone? So we need to know that so that we understand. Because if you are elected as a president, Nigerians come first before even you. Because you are the president, you are supposed to take charge. So what is really going on? People are suffering on a daily basis. All you do is just to fly around, go from one country to another, spending so much billions of naira. I don't really understand what is really going on. People are complaining. And you can't talk about this cost of living. You have to take it back to insecurity. Because what is really happening is because the farmers cannot even go to the farms again to farm again. So how do we do it? The insecurity is there. So tell me now, if we continue this in the next, let's say, 1 year, does it mean there's not going to be much food in the country for people to eat? Or is it just going to be only the rich that will get to eat? Then what about the poor people, the poor masses, who are the majority? What happened to them?
Would you say we're in a food crisis right now?
Yeah, we are. It's obvious it is. Because there's this kind of, do you know, go to local governments, rural area deep down. They barely even eat rice and stew nowadays. All they do is if they can get small pepper. There's this local pepper they used to grind. It's very red just in color. They put it just to make this rice just turn a little bit red. That's if you can afford to even get the rice. And then you go back to the issue of the insecurity that I'm saying, because the farmers are complaining they can't go to the farm because of the insecurity that's in the north I'm talking about. What is the security agency doing about it? And one funny thing that I still want to talk about is, why are we not asking the telecommunication companies question? A kidnapper will call you, collect ransom, or bandit on so many things, spend 5-10 minutes on the phone calling you, talking about ransom. Where is MTN? Where is Globalcom? Where is Airtel? Where are they? Why can't we ask them questions? Does it mean that we don't know what is going on? But we'll talk about it as the program goes on.
Yes. Dr. Francis, back to you. When you were talking, you mentioned that you would like to discuss efforts the government is taking. I would like to know, what are those measures? When would they be implemented? And when will we start to, reap the benefits of all of that?
Yes, some of those efforts are already being implemented. Take, for instance, the issue of increase the minimum wage. You are aware that the tripartite committee has already submitted their report to the president, and the president, during his speech during the June 12 Democracy Day, promised that soon he will bring out the new national minimum wage policy. This is part of the ways to curb the cost of living. Then secondly, we are aware also that the president has been supporting many state governors with some funds to increase their agricultural products. Take, for instance, if we go to a state like Niger, the governor there, Abubakar Bago, is doing a lot in terms of increasing food production in the state. Many other governors should emulate him, collaborate with the federal government, the presidency, in order to increase food production. I disagree with my PDP counterparts who say that insecurity has really dived in this country and it has affected the cost of living or production in terms of agriculture. I disagree with him. Why I say I disagree with him is that since the Tinubu administration came on board, we are aware that the menace of insecurity, particularly in the north east or northwest of Nigeria, has been tackled to a very large extent by the Tinubu administration. Kudos to the new service chiefs he put on board. These people have made frantic efforts to ensure that security return to particularly the northeast area of this country. If states like Niger, states like Kaduna, and other states in the north are Borno too are increasing their agricultural production, and you are still blaming it on insecurity, I think is a very wrong narrative. Then another effort that the Tinubu administration has made is giving some financial support to small and mid-scale enterprise for them to increase their production. So on a large scale, I think some states, most of our state governors need to do enough. They need to do more. Because since the Tinubu administration removed subsidy, Nigeria's revenue increased. Some governors, take for instance my state, Anambra, where the state governor used to collect between 5 to 6 billion on a monthly basis from the federal allocation. Today, my governor used the smart Soludo and said that he's receiving between 10 and 11 billion monthly from federal allocation. That means it increased by more than 100%. So if such increase are coming and accruing to the only way I blame the presidency, which is the area where they took the whole savings from the subsidy removal directly to the state governors. That is where I blame them. The presidency should have brought out enough measures to ensure that those savings go directly to the poor of this country. Take, for instance, the issue of a student's loan. The amount allotted for that student loan should be tripled or more than. so that the people who are feeling those policies that he has put in place, which to my own understanding, all the policies the administration of Asiwaju has put in place to curb the menace of high cost of living or economic quagmire in this country, they will yield positive results at the long run. But in the meantime that Nigerians are suffering, those measures that he has put in place, he should triple it. And again, reduce the cost of governance. I'm an APC member. The cost of governance in this country is too high. Those of them opposing the issue of buying new jet for the presidency, I think we will not be happy if we hear tomorrow that our president died because of because they have already said that the current presidential fleet are no longer fit for them to fly with it. So they need to buy new one. But as they buy new one for the president, every other political office holders, the senators, the ministers, the House of Rep members, even the governors and the local government chairmen, they should find means of reducing the high cost they are spending in the so-called name of security votes, in the area of a fleet of cars they are riding and the rest of them. They should do all these things. Even the allowance, their salary should be reduced so that money saved from those areas can be put to the poor of of Nigerians, so that they can be able to see money and money to buy food on their table. That is the best way I think we should solve some of these problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. A very interesting point you've made there. Mr. John, when you were speaking, you said Nigeria is broken. That was a statement you used. And wouldn't you say that's a bit harsh? Or would you say like that's a fact? And if it is actually a fact based on your opinion, how is it broken and how can it be fixed? Because we can't continue like this.
All right. Thank you very much. The reason why I said Nigeria is broken, and which I'm going to maintain the word broken, because Nigeria is actually broken. Broken in the sense that I keep asking myself a question: how do we arrive here? Every day, every moment, every year, we keep window dressing, micromanage our work, just like my dear brother is micromanage the works, protecting the elect that are supposed to be the servants of the citizens of this country. And the citizen now become the servants. That every year we apply economic policy, micromanage, manipulating monetary policy and fiscal policy, raise money, just like he rightly said. When you raise this money, you share this money into 3 tiers, because the state have even swallowed the local government because they don't have autonomy. And because the poorest of the poorest, he did mention, when this money goes to the state government, they share this money within themselves. Because as it is right now, the elite of this country raise money through taxation, raise money, and share within themselves. Let me ask you, you are a journalist. We are in the studio here discussing the issues of Nigeria. And I'm trying to prove a point where Nigeria is broken. We are talking about minimum wage. When a sitting senator is taking every month about 31 million, and you talk about the worker within the civil service, yeah, 30,000 minimum wage is even difficult to pay. And then they propose 200 and something, which I don't know the exact amount. And they see the same elite that if the president, the last time I checked during the Buhari regime, the hazard allowance of the Mr. President is about 400 and something million. And then when you put the costs of maybe the basic, the other allowances, wardrobe, cars, and all that, you are talking about 1 billion for a sitting president to made away home. And as it is right now, it's talking about a proposal of how a committee will submit their report before you come to think of how much you're able to pay the worker that you have that are working in the different stratas of the economy to build the economics of the nations. Why do we amass wealth for ourselves that is needless? Because if you look at the society today, a House of Representatives once is on the national television. We're mentioning the type of amount that he collects monthly. For instance, he said basic allowance is 2.2 million. Then vehicle allowance is 9 million every month. How can the Senate, the House of Representatives, will be receiving an amount of 9 million every month for a vehicle allowance? Is it important? And every year, after 4 years, you still come back to approve 150 million. So that is a waste of resources. You cost pain on average citizen to the extent, to the point, to the fact that Nigeria as it is right now, we pay through our nose. And there is nothing coming back to us that this is what Nigeria is benefiting from their own country. And that is why Jackpaism is on the top notch. Go to the embassy as it is now. Average Nigerians are flying out from the country. Why are they flying out? I'm privileged to have people abroad. They are not the citizens of that country, but there is a stipend that that are paying them in that country. But look at it in Nigeria. Since we were born to this very minute, has Nigeria paid you any amount that this is the stipend they give to you for you to help yourself in education, in anything? We have seen a lot of anchor, program from Goodluck Jonathan, from Buhari, and down to the school fees loans that is being ascribed or approved as it is now. But come to think of it, has any of this anchor program affect the citizen? We were in the country where during Buhari regime, we give money to farmer. Does those things have effects or bring a change to the farmer? No, because those things doesn't boost productivity, because the templates and measure put in place for those things to work, they are not really holistic. And once things is not holistic, when you bring the approach, put it in the paper form, yes, do the presentation, it's going to be fantastic. But the execution is going to be zero. And we can't continue in that error path. So I'm appealing to the present government to change the narrative and begin to dish out a policy that will be really effective, that average citizen of this country will benefit from it, and stop bringing an ambiguous policy that has a lot of implications. Because if Nigeria is going through a lot of pain, it brings insecurity. The insecurity when we are talking about, even the armed robber out there, kidnapper out there, banditry out there, they wouldn't want to do those jobs. But as McKenkogan says, the fathers of essentiality, when you live a life and that life is not meaningful for you, you can do a lot of things. If you die in the cause, it doesn't matter. And that is the penalty, the consequences you will bear. Because Nigeria has pushed to the world. When you go to the downtrodden, people are eating dust. Do you know what I mean? People are eating dust. People live, preserve food that are not even called food. For instance now, people are eating on grass. Because by the time you cut grass in the name of leaf and you don't have any other ingredient in putting on that food for you to consume, is it not grass? It's a chaff. Go, you're a journalist, go and do survey and understand how average Nigerians are going through a lot of pain. Our young folk now have turned to prostitute because they have no way out. Our young folk from the make folk, most of them now have turned to illicit, grab illicit something that are not very important. And we have state government, federal government, and then we are not looking onto those things to x-ray it and see how we'll be able to do it. Look at Ibrahim Toure of Burkina Faso. I know he came through the coup d'etat, which is not really advisable for this country. But when he came, what did he do? He reduced the cost of governance. He reduced the paychecks of the elites that manage the government to by 50%, and increase the average worker by 70%. And what did he do? He sold every vehicles of the elites. And even him being the president of the Burkina Faso, he is using 2006 Range Rover and is in the battlefield. And what did he do? The first thing he did was to purchase a tractor and push people into agriculture. And then encourage every other sector to embark and command foreign investment to ensure that, yes, the citizen is well taken care of. But the reverse is the case. We are the giants of Africa. What do you do to become giant? Look at our transport system, zero. Waterway, zero. Security system, zero. Even the security apparatus, just like as my brother rightly said, that yes, since Bola Tinubu came on board, yes, the security situations has gone down. Yes, it gone down on the social media. But as far as I'm speaking to you right now, there is a high insecurity in this nation that the media is no longer covering it again, because even the cost of covering those things are even high in the media.
Honorable Idris, I want to bring you in. Dr. Francis mentioned that the cost of governance, reduction in the cost of governance would help the economy, which in a way, I find it as a conflicting statement, seeing as you mentioned that the presidential jets should be replaced.
Yes.
You're in support of that. Doesn't that conflict your statement on the reduction of cost of governance? We'll get back to that. But first, I would like you to speak on the reduction of cost of governance. Do you agree that this would help the economy greatly?
It will a little bit, but in the other way it won't. Because the APC government is actually not here to fix this country, but rather than to empower themselves. Because we have seen it right from 2015 till date, the same thing. All blame games and nothing to show. On a daily basis, lies upon lies. Nigerians are tired. You talk about cost of living. We have a president that moved with over more than 50 cars, convoys, sophisticated vehicles. What for? If he's going to the airport, from Villa down to the airport, going to be securities on every junction till getting to the airport. If it is so, why can't you just take a chopper and then land in the airport? Proceed to wherever you want to go. Why do we have to inconvenience the people all the time? In this country, it's only about those in government. The poor people and those who are not in government, they have nothing for them, nothing to show, rather than to frustrate them on a daily basis. If you want to talk about economy and the cost of living of a thing, why don't we talk about opening more industries? For example, in the north, we can try to do something about tomato company, one or two things, all these selling companies. There's a way we can get so many companies in. We can get like at least each state can come with that. Each company should come with 2 or 3 companies. Industries where you can employ people. Because the youths are all there around, going all up and down, doing nothing. All they do now is just crypto, crypto. That's all they do on a daily basis because they have nothing to do. no job. Some of them have even lost hope, nothing to show. And we talk about, my brother says that the presidency have given governors lots of money. Okay, this is democracy. If you want to give these governors money, why can't you come on the national TV and say, hey, this is what we're going to do? We have the right to know. Break it down. So states, I'm saying this money have been channeled to this so states, so amount have been channeled. But all they do is we hear things on the social media. And unfortunately, one of the presidential spokesperson, in Gilari, it's so unfortunate when we are talking about the minimum wage of a thing, he says that Nigerian workers are less than 15%, or how many percent he said? That's what happened about the other poor masses, that the union only cares about the workers. Is he really okay? Does he even know what he is doing? Do you know how many Nigerians are under each one civil servants? They have mothers, wife, children, uncles, brothers, sisters. Do you know how many people are under them? They go on the 30,000 naira per month. Majority of them live outside Abuja. Nyanya, Mararaba, Suleja, Kaduna Road. Do you know how much is transport money to get inside town? From Suleja to Abuja, do you know how it's almost 2,000 naira? Let's say we have 21 days in a month, working days. How much are you going to spend on transportation? Then you talk about what they will eat when they get to the office. How are they going to pay rent? How are they going to pay their bills? How are they going to send their children to school? And then yet, many of them are inside air condition in the office, car, even including toilets in air condition. Let's even leave the president and even the vice and the senator. Let's say the reps member house of reps. Can they live with even 200,000 naira in a month? Can they survive it? Let's say they're not even helping anybody. Can they survive on 200,000 naira in a month? What is so difficult in increasing their salaries? Why won't there be lots of insecurity? Why? How are they going to survive, the poor people? And then this government, all they do is playing games on a daily basis. Get to work. Do what you are supposed to do. You are elected as a president. Do what you are supposed to do. All you talk about, okay, the opposition are saying this. We have to talk. It is democracy. You can as well arrest us all if you want to. The highest you can do is to kill all of us. So be it, and go ahead and do it. But we need to do the right thing. People are suffering, complaining. Like my brother says about the insecurity of a thing. I'm sure you need to go and check what is really happening in Northwest. You will understand what I'm telling you about. On a daily basis, people are dying. People are living out of fear. If you look at their face, you know that. And in those places, there's nothing like presence of government, nothing to show. Where is the coordination of the securities? And all they do among themselves is to fight. Because I've seen so many kids, police, military, and others fighting each other. VIO, custom fighting each other. Why can't they work as a team? What is so difficult in fighting all this insecurity of a thing? In the Northwest, it is not like a swamp forest. It's like a desert forest. You can see everything from above. You can see almost everything. These bandits have phones. Some of them are even on TikTok, sending us messages. You can see them sending so many things, even posting that, okay, they are celebrating or this also. Like, what is really going on? Bandit will call you for ransom for 10, 15 minutes, negotiating, and yet nobody is asking any question. What line are they using? Where are the telecommunication companies? Why are they not bringing them back on the book? Ask them questions. So you ask yourself, what is really going on? Who is fooling who? It is a matter of time because all of us are victims.
Yes. Just final words, please, before we go.
Please, it is high time we started apportioning blames rightly.
Please, 30 seconds. Yeah.
Okay,
before we go.
appropriately. We can't keep blaming the federal government in every problem we have in this country. Let us equally look at what the state governors are doing. Take, for instance, the issue of bargaining with kidnappers and banditries. Some of the state governors, their aides go and engage those bandits or kidnappers, and they settle ransom with them, and tomorrow they keep doing the same thing. How many of us have come out here to say it openly and blame the governors or the aides to the governors who negotiate those ransom with kidnappers or with bandits? It is high time we started blaming them. It is equally important that we equally blame state governors who are not doing well with all the federal allocation given to them. We can't keep blaming the federal government in every problem we have in this country. As far as I'm concerned, the Tinubu administration is doing well to fix this country. And I believe in the next 1 year, we'll start reaping the benefits of the Asiwaju administration. Thank
you very much. Thank you. So it's important to hold your local government chairman, your state governors, and everyone accountable, not just the federal government. Of course, they are the top, so it's fair why we would want to call them out. But it's important to hold all your leaders accountable because everybody has a hand in the game. All right, that's it for the political segment of the weekend show. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to all our guests for being here and your contribution to this discussion. We just hope for the best with the economy and the cost of living here in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you.